Nikki Maduro. She is Kim McAllister. Thank you for joining us on the Nikki Maduro Show. We have quite the show for you today because, as always, so much crap happens. And it's actually a big news week, given everything that's been happening in the Middle East between Israel and Gaza, and even with the California governor's race, because, yes, I saw the comments. We will be talking about my girl, Katie Porter. But before we do all that, you guys, please click the thumbs up button to show your support for the show. And if you can, of course, we always take donations because we are 100% crowdfunded right here on the Nikki Maduro Show. We have our Patreon up. Our PayPal is always up. We love PayPal. And of course, our super chat and super stickers are live. And we always appreciate the support so we can continue doing the show. And I've got my cocktail because we do cocktails and news. What did we say we were? Two drunk ladies doing the news. What did we say?
Yeah, two drunk moms doing the news.
Doing the news. We're not drunk yet, but we will get there.
It's the Nikki Maduro Show, Mark. He goes, yeah, but if you called it two drunk moms doing the news, that would be a real hit. I was like, okay.
It's pretty much that as well. Okay, but thank you guys for being here. Yeah, we will get to Katie Porter. I will say, I think I've been arguing about Katie Porter over the past couple of days just as much as I've been arguing about Donald Trump. I want your guys' take on that. But we will get to that after the big news. Okay, the latest news, obviously the big news in the Middle East, the peace deal between Israel and Gaza, very preliminary. Obviously, the latest that I just saw is that we're sending about 200 troops over there to kind of watch over this peace deal that is going to be happening. I'm going to say this. I will give credit where credit is due. If it happens, thank God. I'm just going to take a personal note right here. I don't have family over there. I am not, it's not as if I don't care, but the whole skin in the game, like that personal type of feeling beyond just being a human being and hating the horror that we've been seeing over the past couple of years.
Yeah,
I will tell you, watching the students at my school go through another October 7th, the Jewish students go through another October 7th, especially with all of the Jewish holidays happening at the exact same time. I cannot comprehend what this time of year means for people. You know what I mean? Especially within the Jewish community. And I'm not even speaking like I can, but I'm just saying that if we are on the cusp of this ending, thank God. Thank God. And I will give credit where, and I'm not going to say, would only happen if Donald Trump was president, blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying any of that, but I am saying is I hope that this ceasefire deal actually happens. I really, really do. They're saying started October 7th, 2023. At the very least, killed 1,200 people, most civilians. Probably way more than that. I mean, most of Gaza most of Gaza is completely destroyed. I mean, I was reading one article, Kim, about Donald Trump, and the whole plan for rebuilding. And remember when it first came out, how all these like drawings and markups about like what Gaza will look like with like
the
gold
Trump resort,
everywhere,
Mediterranean resort, yeah.
The
Riviera.
Whatever. I just want people to stop dying. I want hostages to be released. I want
numbers are always sketchy in war,
exactly.
And you never know where the numbers are coming from, what sides, and is the data skewed? But according to a United Nations report that came out last month in September, they say that Israel's military campaign in response to what happened on October 7th has killed 66,000 Palestinians in Gaza.
Yeah.
So you have, just death. Everywhere you look, death. And we all want it to stop. We don't want to see anybody else killed. I don't know how you have a situation like that, though, with so many thousands of people that have been, a drink, thank you. So many thousands of people who have died. And just, so they sign a peace deal, we're over it. Like, how does that work? How do you not harbor some type of, awful feelings about people. You can't just, it's not just the deal is signed and there's peace. And
No.
also, I wonder who's really responsible for the peace deal. I
Yeah.
mean, is Trump seems to be very willing to take the, the success and the feather in his cap, but who is really responsible? Egypt, the UK, other members of the EU? Donald Trump seems to be lobbying awfully hard for a Nobel Peace Prize, but
Oh, well, he's going to say.
who really
He's
was
going to take
behind all
credit
that?
of it. He's always going to take credit for it. So it doesn't actually matter. And is that really good? And in all honesty, if people stop dying, I don't care. I don't. That's just the human in me, right?
Mhm.
But then I was reading more, and this was, kind of what I wanted to talk about. And I'm not going to act like I'm an expert. And I always say this. When we talk about stuff in the Middle East. I'm not a Joan Rothman. I'm not a Middle East expert. I am a human being that is just, I feel like I take like the average American response, right? That I'm just reading things and I'm reading things and I'm reading things. And we knew, and I actually read about this before with the whole Project 2025 and all this. And I remember this term and this Project Esther coming up before. And then it came up again in this article and this video that I was watching. And I thought it was, and for lack of a better word, interesting to kind of read, just as you were saying, what happens now if this ceasefire holds, which we all hope happens. How do we turn the page, or how do we heal? How do you live if you're in the area, if you're physically there, if you're Palestinian?
What if I'm the mom of, what if I'm an Israeli mom who lost both of her children, her Jacob and her Julia, in the October 7th massacre? What if I'm a Palestinian mom who lost her entire family and both of her children in some kind of bombing from Israel? Either case, I can't put that behind me. I try to put myself in the shoes of people who experience this horrible loss. And I don't know, you can't say, I forgive when your children are gone. Like, how does that even work?
But you have to think that there is going to be some sort of PR campaign, because not only do you have to win over the other side, other people, you have to win over the world, right? You have to figure out a way to make people either forgive you enough, right? For whatever side you're falling on.
Yeah.
I mean, to move forward, right? And so what is the way that it happens in the year 2025? Social media. You use social media. And that is a part of Project Esther, or the Esther Project. According to the Department of Justice, there is a huge social media campaign planned to use Instagram, Meta, Facebook, and more specifically, TikTok, to hire influencers for like $7,000 a piece, to start putting out a coordinated campaign to, I don't know, I'm not going to use the term whitewash. I don't know what these are going to look like, but to have a social media campaign to convince people of a certain messaging. This is what Netanyahu had said about the weaponizing. He uses the weaponizing of social media in battle. It is not guns we're talking about. It is the use of social media.
We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay. And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is Class?
Followers.
TikTok. TikTok. Number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one? That's most important. X. Exactly.
TikTok and X. I don't think that's a mistake to mention. TikTok and X are the battles and the most important purchases that are being made.
So he's saying it's more important then, in his mind, to win the war of information,
of course,
than the stopping of whatever threat he perceives on the other side of his border. Because if you win the war of information, if you convince people of that things are a certain way, you won't even have to pick up a gun and shoot anybody or drop a bomb, right? Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it. We saw it we've seen it in elections. We see it right now. You don't have to physically make anybody do it. You just have to convince them of it. You just have to plant the seed. I was watching this video and he put it, and it was the beginning of a conversation. And it's for instance, he used this example. So if Kim, you walk into the room and I say, were you always so open-minded, or does somebody convince you to be that way? And so I've already convinced you agreeing of my description of you,
that I'm
open-minded. Already bonded.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden you like me. So now we're bonded. So now that I've planted a seed of connection with you, and now you're going to continue to follow me, and you're going to continue to believe the things I tell you about yourself. That's what Trump does to MAGA, right? He planted the seed of, who are you? We have this connection, and look what's happened. Look what's happened. And so if you do that, you can use that a million different ways. And that's when Netanyahu is talking about the weaponization. It's not swords. It's not guns. It's your mind. And social media corrupts, influences, what have you, your mind. And so if he can convince you of whatever story he wants you to believe of what's happened between Israel and Gaza, he can win how history sees what happened in whatever way you want to look at it. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying choose a side, whatever. I'm just saying you win social media, you win that narrative, you get to write what's in the history books, because we see it's written by the winners.
Well, you're in charge. You get to write what's in the history books. Clearly, I would have thought before Trump, what's in the history books? Well, we had a new campaign to put the truth in history books, but apparently now it's whatever, as you say, the winner wants to be in there.
Right.
On the Israel-Gaza social media campaign, I feel like Trump has been masterful at convincing people of lies, right?
Of course.
I mean, half the country is still understands that he's full of crap, but half the country has been brainwashed into being MAGA, not Republicans, but MAGA. As far as the Israel-Gaza situation, I don't necessarily feel like social media is on the side of Israel with this, because as an outside observer looking at what people every day have to say, especially in our chat and in other places, I see a lot of support for not Hamas, but for Palestinian people that are being killed. So I don't know how successful they've been in Israel at controlling messaging around the world.
I mean, again, I can't speak either way, right? I mean, I think that you also have to remember the social media you see is the social media you see. Remember, you are fed an algorithm of things that you like. That it's not objective. You are not reading and seeing things, at least not reactions, that are unbiased. You're not. I'm not. Social media is biased. It is skewed. It is not an accurate assessment of how a society believes. It's not. It can't be. It's going to feed you what you like and what you click on. And I've said this last week, and I'm saying it again. And it might sound like wackadoo conspiracy. I do believe the algorithm is pushing more right-wing channels. I mean, I can tell you, I have had to be like, not interested. So much more. Like, what is all of this shit on my feed? I have never in a million years read this much conservative news in my life.
Like,
even when I was a
get rid of
reporter,
it. Get rid of
like,
it.
I don't want, I'm not interested. And yet, even when I say I'm not interested, it's still being pushed to me. It's still being pushed. It's
I'll
crazy.
do an experiment, but last night my husband and I were talking about this and what's being served up to people. And he said, go to Google and type in, and we did this at the kitchen table. I'm going to do it right now and see if it works. Go to Google, he said, and type in Trump dementia, or, does Trump have dementia, right?
Okay.
And Google doesn't serve hardly anything. They'll do some news stories, but they don't really serve up very much. It looks like today might be a little different.
I think it's a little different. I mean, mine has different. A lot.
But yesterday it didn't. And then we went to a different web browser and we got a lot more. So I think that based on the day and based on what's happening, because they got a lot of criticism for this yesterday.
Well, yeah.
That they do manipulate the algorithms or whatever to serve you up what they think is more beneficial to the message they want to send people.
Well, and I mean, again, it's not as if the internet isn't created by people. I think we always have this thing in our minds that I don't know, that it's not, right? That it's totally free of bias. There is a person behind there programming it, influenced by probably a higher up that's like, yo, we might get sued, or we're getting pressure, or what have you, right? And so it's like, all right, stop, making it look this way or that way. And so look, all I'm saying is whatever your feed is showing you is not unbiased. It's not, and you have to understand that. I've been trying to so X has been driving me crazy. So I've been on X, and I go on X to prep for this show, and it's always so hard for me. And I say this every week. It's hard for me because after the show, I try to detox for like a day or two, and then I ramp it all up. I just try to watch local news, and even that's been lately. And then I ramp it up with a lot more of that. And I tried to go on Blue Sky as a palate cleanser, and even that lately. But X has been completely taken over. I mean, X is basically Truth Social. It is basically Truth Social. I don't know what Truth Social is, but it seems like it's X. I can't imagine there's a difference. I cannot imagine there is any difference between Truth Social and X, because it is literally just conservative. And it takes all of my power, Kim, to stop arguing with people. I'm like, why are you engaging, Nikki? Stop engaging. But
you have to. You can't.
I can't. And then I saw myself. I'm like, it's bad for your mental health, but I still do it. But anyway,
I've been doing that with the whole yes on 50 videos, and in the comments, I'm like, or the whole no on 50. I'm not right. Yes on 50.
Oh my God! And people are how could you believe in gerrymandering? And I'm like, oh, do you not? They don't even understand. But whatever. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
I know. It's crazy.
So here's the story. Tuesday, The Verge reported searches for "Does Trump show signs of dementia?" and similarly worded queries were failing to produce a Google AI overview result. But those Google AI overviews were available when the same question was asked about former presidents. So Newsweek magazine goes on and they do the search. Does Trump show signs of dementia on October 2nd? That is the day that Google's AI overview did not produce a custom AI summary. Instead, it offered a list of the top search results per Google's traditional system. By contrast, Google's AI overview, which began rolling out in May of 2024, did provide an answer when asked, does Biden show signs of dementia? They went on to provide summaries of public observations and concerns regarding Biden's health. They say similarly, the AI overview answered the question when asked whether former presidents Barack Obama and George W. Bush showed signs of dementia. So, at least for that day, before that article came out, there was a difference in what you saw when you Googled it. Last night, there was a difference. Today, there is not. Interesting, right?
I mean, and again, what's so frustrating about it is and like Deidre's writing right there on their thing. She's like, if you use Google, you see one thing. And if you go DuckDuckGo, I've used that too. It's one of those, you can get rid of everything. And it's actually a really good thing. I have it on my search engine. I have it on my phone as well. You see all different sorts of things. I mean, of course, the search engines are different. Google's different than DuckDuckGo. But yeah, it makes you not trust the searches, right? It makes you not, you feel like something else is going on. But again, it's all part and parcel of the same conversation we're having.
It's a private company. They are able
they can
to
do whatever they want.
Results they want to do. And if you don't like it, go to a different company.
Exactly. And Trump does have dementia. He can't remember when he was president the first time. He can't.
Be aware that when you're searching, don't, there's bias everywhere you look. So you might have to dig a little for the information now. It's hard to find the information, the true information that you need. It just makes it that much harder to be an informed member of the electorate.
Exactly. Yeah. The other big news today, before we get to Katie Porter, of course, was Letitia James has been indicted, which the headline is 2 felony indictments over $18,000. They are saying that she swindled this mortgage fraud, that she did all of this in order to save $18,000. This is such a bullshit indictment that is so obviously retribution for what she did to Trump. I'm going to play her. It's about 2 minutes. Her response to this indictment, because it is so freaking true. And again, we have to push back on this stuff. It's absolutely weaponization. Ridiculous. Hold on. Let me start it at the beginning. Here we go.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties. His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president, is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country. This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
Maybe it's the booze talking, but that makes me really emotional. I mean, she is a badass. Clearly, Letitia James for president. I mean, what? Wow.
And if you don't know, obviously,
she has to have been receiving death threats all kinds of threats. And she stands up there and she takes no crap and says exactly what she needs to say and has no fear. Like that takes amazing stones to get up there and do what she just did.
Well, she has stones, and she stood up to Trump. And like she said, she found Trump and the organization and the sons guilty of fraud, and it was upheld, right? Like that's the whole point. And then he fires the federal prosecutor for Eastern Virginia. and puts in this totally incompetent woman, Halligan, who, like she mentioned, is just a yes woman, totally does not have the experience. And then the position of prosecutor of Eastern Virginia, thank you, Nugget, I swear to God, I think so too, is ridiculous, is absolutely ridiculous. And he only did it because that position and what that position deals with, the cases that position deals with.
Right.
And then, of course, this comes 2 weeks or whatever after Comey is just reeks of retribution. And that's all Trump wants to do. That is all he wants to do. And again, let me just reiterate. They're saying that she took out a loan for like what, 3% and instead of 3.8%. And over the life of the loan, she saved $18,000 because it wasn't her second, not primary resident. Like, and it was like a mistake on a paperwork, something that so many people do. People within his own cabinet have been found to do. Like, it's such a bullshit charge. It is so obvious. But this is the problem, is he's put his people everywhere. And nobody has the moral background. And that's what's frightening, is that they're all awful people. Like, I don't know, is anybody willing to actually do the job they were hired to do? Does anybody, I don't want to think terribly of every single solitary person, but it's like, seriously? Yep. You're all just going to lick his boots?
Yeah.
Is that what we are?
Well, because now people are scared. Now, if you're not on the, I mean, what if you did have some hinky paperwork going on? Well, I guess you better get in line and bend the knee to Trump. Otherwise, you're going to end up in court. It's the most ridiculous thing that instead of doing the work, the folks that Trump has in these positions of authority, like the nation's top housing official, instead of doing the work, is instead trying to uncover dirt on his political opponents. Really? He is mad that she won the ironclad case she had against him for fraud in the state of New York. And he's pissy about it. And so he's going after her. And we all know it. He did the text to Pam Bondi. There was an article today about how this message that he sent to Bondi about how we need to go after Adam Schiff and Letitia James and James Comey, and we need these charges filed right now because it's making us look bad. That was supposed to be a direct message. He did not mean to put that out to the world, but moron did, because moron's a moron, right?
And his brain's going.
Yeah. And so he did. And now we all know it. And there's sources confirming today that was not meant to be public. So it's my hope that now that we know that this is all political in nature, and he himself made it public because, again, moron, that these cases will be quickly and summarily tossed out of court.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, it doesn't matter. He could say whatever he wants, and nobody seems to be able to hold him accountable. And Teacher Lori, I know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't know if she's trying to protect her seat because she's not going to run for Senate because they're like not supporting her and doing that. I have no idea. Marjorie Taylor Greene, and again, because this is all a distraction from the Epstein files, and they're not swearing in that woman from Arizona. And even Marjorie Taylor Greene's like, they might as well do it. They might as well do it because we have the 218 to get those files released. Might as well do it. When you start being like, go Marjorie Taylor Greene, the world is upside freaking down. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm never feeling go Marjorie Taylor Greene. No. She's shown herself to be so combative and rude and downright crazy that if here's what I imagine happened. Somehow, someone in her orbit managed to actually get a couple minutes of her time and feed her some real facts. And then she was like, oh, okay, so on a couple of issues, she actually has a handle on it and understands what's going on. But on most issues, pew, Jewish space lasers from wherever, right? She's nuts. She's nuts.
I think they told her, yeah. Go ahead. But I'm sorry.
No, you go.
No, I just meant like she was told she can't run for Senate. She didn't get a position in Trump's organization. And so she's like, well, what am I doing? And I do think that it was what you're saying. Like, she is totally Epstein, and she's pissed about the war. She's pissed about, like, I do think it's sad to say, Marjorie actually meant it.
Like, you think so?
The thing that I think she means the things that she's for. I think I those things. I still think she's batshit crazy, the Jewish space lasers and all that. But I do think that she doesn't want any more wars. I do think that she meant that, right? Like, she doesn't want that, and she does believe in the whole America first. But I don't think America first means all Americans. When she means America first, I think that the list of people under that umbrella is not everybody. But whatever. I don't know. I don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene. She can suck it. But if she is going to be like the fly in the ointment for Donald Trump because she carries the MAGA flag and is gonna like have clout within MAGA and be like, I'm gonna vote for the Epstein and all that kind of dude, do it.
John says MTG is puzzling. She must have been betrayed by Trump somehow. I really believe, John Watson, that she's just not very smart. That she's, again, joining Trump in the moron category. She's just isn't a very good thinker. And the people of her district should be really embarrassed that that's the best they could do. I also think that she's unstable, and you never know what she's going to feel from day to day to day, because she's not a, an even keel logic thinker. She's a woo girl. You just woo. Yeah.
Woo. Yeah. I think that she's bitter that she didn't get, after all of the toe sucking that she did for Trump, she didn't get a position in this cabinet. I think that she was really butthurt about that. You know what I mean? And because remember, she was the white fur coat screaming and yelling for Donald Trump, and she didn't get shit from him. You know what I mean? Like, and he even, apparently, I was reading some article, they're like, he's even noticed, he's like, what's going on with Marjorie? You take advantage of a woman. There's nothing worse than a woman scorned. So maybe, but all he has to do, I don't know if he has to kiss her ass for a second and she'll be right back on it. But I hope that I am right about the fact that there are some issues in which Marjorie is not going to bend on. I do believe Epstein is one of them. I do. I think I do believe there is no way that you can talk people out of not caring about that. Like, that's a weird one. Mike Johnson, you're an awful person. Like, I'm on air. Thank you. Children. But yeah, like, there is no way you can talk people out of, if you cared about the Epstein files, not caring about the Epstein files. I don't think Mike Johnson cared about the Epstein files. I think Mike Johnson cares about Mike Johnson. So that's right. He's awful. He's an awful person.
Yeah, that's exactly. And Mike Johnson also cares about what Trump tells him to care about. That's it. That's what you got. And so his whole, God first, holy roller, look at all those people. Look at all of them. Look at Mike Johnson with his extra religious, I'm the deacon of the church kind of guy. And you've got Caroline Leavitt with her giant golden cross hanging down like a badge of honor. You have all these cross-wearing people. And what do they stand for?
Nothing.
I mean, really, look at it.
They hide behind the cross.
Are they standing for what's right? Are they, if they're really Christians with their crosses, then shouldn't they love people that are different and welcome their neighbor and be kind to thy neighbor and stand up for children and be advocates for people that are in positions that are weaker than them and try to lift people up and kindness and goodness? Maybe I'm misunderstanding the Christian religion.
You are.
My bad. I'm sorry. Yeah.
My bad. I'm sorry. No, like Teacher Lori, good point. Epstein and her kids, remember, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been coming out about we should negotiate about the healthcare because if it doesn't get extended, my adult children's healthcare is going to double. Yeah. Oh my God. It's almost as if it's more than just undocumented or illegal, like they like to say, people. It's almost as if the ACA takes care of Americans. I have been getting into so many arguments over this healthcare topic. And it's like I've been repeating myself since 2016, 2017, 2018, when the Republicans kept saying repeal and replace, repeal and replace. And they had no effing replacement. And they keep doing it. Byron Daniels, right? That's his name, that stupid Republican who just keeps talking shit about the ACA. I have X'd or tweeted or whatever the hell you say back at that dude ad nauseum. And I'm like, what is your plan? What is it? Can somebody explain to me what is the Republican healthcare plan besides taking it away? Like, what do they give us? What is your plan of providing healthcare besides just taking away the minuscule amount of healthcare that people have? What is it? What is it? Because if you take away Medicare and you take away the ACA subsidies, what are we left with? The ER? What are we supposed to do? Like,
You're
what
left
are we
with
supposed
high
to
healthcare premiums, high copays, and healthcare that doesn't really cover what you need it to cover.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
And I wish, and this is where I think the media has failed us so much. And this is going to lead me into the Katie Porter thing. This is where I think the media for so long, and I'm going to include not us because we're not national reporters, we don't cover the president, but the media as a whole has so utterly failed and has tried, but has failed so much to ask the most basic question. And maybe it's because, and this is what I truly think it is. It's because there's so many quote unquote journalists that aren't journalists in this age of like social media journalists where anybody's allowed to be in the room if you're holding a phone and a microphone, right?
Sure.
But it's this like, there's no unity within the media where it's like, no, we are going to hold those people to account, even if we are competing for eyeballs and clicks and all that kind of shit, right? Like we as the media need to get the answers from them who are in power, which is the point of the press. And we lost that with so many people. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised that Caitlin Collins is still allowed in the White House press briefing room.
I know, right?
You know, most of the people in there are from these white, there's another turn of phrase, right or right-wing outlets, either right-wing outlets or bloggers or podcasters or whatever it is. We're talking about the White House. You know, you don't let a podcaster into the White House, the press briefing room. You want a legit journalist from a legit agency where there are standards.
But they don't think any of them are legit. They're skewed.
It's as we were talking about before with Israel. Control the message. Put out the message that you want. So they're picking the people that will control, that will spew the message that they want spewed. That's why I'm surprised that there are any legitimate journalists still left covering the president.
Well, you have to. It's one of those things where it's like you need to. It's like you don't abandon. It's like the military, right? You don't want the good people to leave, even though you know they're frustrated as hell. Because if they leave, who's left, right? Then it's just yes men and women. Like you don't want the adults in the room to get so fed up and leave. And thank you so much, James, for the $3 super sticker. We appreciate your support so much. You don't want the adults to leave. You don't want the people that are going to hold truth to power to leave, even though you're like, what the hell am I stuck in right now?
Right.
Because then there's going to be nobody. They're going to be like, yay, Trump, you're so healthy. You're so sane. This is totally normal. Absolutely. No, this is insane. And so Caitlin Collins and all of those people. Yeah. If not, it's just going to be a bunch of people that think this is normal. And I'm not saying, I will go on record and say this. I am not saying that every single Democratic lawmaker is always correct, right? I am not saying that we shouldn't push back on Democratic lawmakers. We should push back on everybody. We should dig deep on everybody. But the fact that Trump lies so much and GOP lawmakers let him, you have to focus so much on them because it's like, you're not doing your job. So we would spread the scrutiny around if you freaking idiots would just be normal, right? Like if it would stop being like the Twilight Zone around here.
Yeah.
But what's happening behind the scenes is you guys are not doing your jobs. And that's what's frightening. That's what's frightening.
I was reading an article earlier about therapists who are warning that this normalized Trump behavior is actually causing real world harm. Like it was at a point a few years ago where we would look at Trump going nutso and go, oh boy, he's wacky. Oh, what's he going to say next? Oh, this is entertaining and scary at the same time. Oh, we all know he's a little on the edge. It's become not that way anymore. It's become where as before, everyone was like, ooh, what's happening with Trump? Now everyone's thinking, not everyone, but now many people have had that behavior normalized and even take on some of the aspects of that behavior themselves. The story is in the Huffington Post, and they talk to a bunch of therapists, and the therapists are saying many people in the United States are learning to get meaner as Trump continues to name call, disparage, mock, and intimidate his opposers. So our society, see, we just think it's him and it's not a big deal. And once he's out of office and gone away, that we're going to be back to normal. But the problem is he's left in his wake a whole society full of people that think it's okay now to be awful.
Right. Well, because you've seen like, oh, is this okay? You've exposed people to something. You're like, oh, if a president of the United States can do that, it must be okay if me, a lowly whatever, can do it. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes absolute sense.
This one therapist said that as a licensed clinical social worker in Maine, people should be able to look up to the president and think that they have solid morals that they follow, that they have solid values. But the reality right now is he's not worth someone looking up to. She said, I would not want my child looking up to someone who calls people crazy or makes fun of them or any of that, because that's not the person I want my child to be. And unfortunately, she says children will grow up in a world where this type of behavior, us versus them mentality, Republicans versus Democrats, Americans versus citizens or immigrants or people of the world, whatever, is commonplace, and it will impact how kids growing up now will treat other people. This type of behavior, she says, also allows adults to revert to mean treatment toward others. So we're going to have a lot of work to do. And especially with kids, I think we have a lot of work to do about what's acceptable behavior and what is not. I was saying this the other day, and I'll just quickly tell you, I was driving down. Did I not tell you this? We're driving down the street. Julia's and behind the wheel, and I'm driving with her, teaching her how to drive. And these two kids on the electric bikes come up, or bikes with really thick wheels, and they're popping wheelies in the other lane.
I hate that.
And it's unsafe, and they're not wearing helmets. And Julia says, I hope that kid falls off his bike and splashes his head on this pavement or whatever, cracks his head open. And I was like, I don't think you really mean that.
Because that would be awful.
I don't think you really want that kid to do that. I mean, she's looking at it thinking, I hope that's what happens to him because he's so stupid that he's doing that right now.
Right.
I don't think she meant to say that.
You don't mean it literally. Yeah.
And so I said, I don't think you really mean that. Like, do you really want his mom to be sad that he fell off his bike and he's dead? She's like, no. She said, but I hope he falls off. And I was like, I don't think you really mean that either. Like, do you really want a child? Are you wishing for a child to be injured? We had to go. But this is the kind of conversation that's important to have. When you hear a mean statement from a kid, ask them what they really mean to say.
What do you really mean? Yeah. Go scratch a little bit farther. Like, what do you actually mean?
Right. Because
what do you actually want to see?
So commonplace now for them to hear the Trump comments, the Bondi comments.
That's really good that you did that. That's really interesting.
Anger, when it pops up, and it's shocking. You're like, what? What did you just say?
Yeah, I think it's the annoyance. It's that. Oh my God, that's so annoying. And probably, and I'm not going to speak for your daughter, but probably it was like, oh my God, he's he's not only putting himself in danger, but it's danger for everybody else. Like, what if something terrible happens? I wish that wasn't in my sight. So, but it automatically went to a kind of a violent spot instead of like, God, I wish he would just stop doing it, instead of a more neutral spot. And you also have to throw in, Kim, COVID. Like, we were so, and I think we really underestimated and I've said this before, the trauma that not only kids went through, but adults went through. I think, myself included, I think that we just really were like, we can buck up and it's fine, and it's fine. And we've been through rough things before. It's, other countries have done. We, as a society, as human beings, were seriously traumatized, and it is going to leave a scar. And we're still experiencing the aftermath of it in our psyche. And just because we're back open doesn't mean we're not going to face the ripple effects of it constantly. I think we are going to see this line of demarcation in society constantly, just like the boomers, right? Like, there's going to be this line where it's like, that's the COVID generation. And we're just going to constantly see there was before COVID and then there was after COVID. And how we react to things. And that could be also part of it. Also just being insulated and at home and online, and how it divided us. Like,
that's what Sandy said, Heather said about, like, not just that, but then the internet and social media, dependent society. People are comfortable letting their ugliness out now. So you've got it from the president, you've got it from social media, you've got it from all different directions. And in order to fight it, like, we have to fight it. We have to call it out when we see it. We have to say, like, let's extrapolate. So you said you hope he falls off his bike and his head splashes against the pavement. What does that mean? That means you have a sad, horribly sad mother and family that will mourn his loss forever. That means you have paramedics that have to come scrape him off the pavement. Like, what do you really mean?
That's
like,
trauma.
What are you really saying when you say something like, because that's what the MAGA people do. They say them and others
most awful things, and then
awful things, and they don't ever think about what they're truly meaning and what that would look like. And also, as I explained to Juliet, a little something about the karma wheel. You like the energy you put out in the universe.
The juju,
my belief, is what comes back to you. So if you're a negative, complaining, mean, nasty person who's constantly saying bad things, that's this negative, downtrodden energy that will eventually circle right back to you and head right back in a place you don't want it. So you got to be really careful in this world and be who you want to be. Don't just emulate those who, are on the internet, who are talking, who are kids at school, who are saying mean things, right?
Exactly. Rhonda, thank you so much for the $5. She doesn't have anything to say, but thank you, since she's on spending. Here's a bit for the show. Thank you. And I do think that it's true. I mean, everything that we've been saying, we really need to kind of take a step back and be the people that we want to be, but also, it's going to be one of those moments where we're just going to have to, can you imagine going through COVID? And I'm just going to say this, and I know that biased. Imagine if we went through COVID and Obama was president. It was that year. You know what I mean? Like, if COVID happened during the Obama years, I just don't think, I don't know, maybe I'm being Pollyanna about it. Maybe my bias is completely showing, but I just feel like the division, the rhetoric, all of that, and him being so good at, in my opinion, about it being a uniter and being a place where I turned to when I was devastated by stuff and needing some comfort from my leader. I wonder how, as a nation, we would have dealt with COVID if I was turning on my television and listening to Obama instead of Donald Trump and inserting the bleach and the light inside the body bullshit. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
the good part was that we were listening to Gavin Newsom every day in a newsroom. He was giving the daily press conferences. So we were looking at someone who was truly trying to save people's lives.
But there was still, because Trump was like, it was kind of this, And I don't know, maybe it still would have happened because maybe people still would have reacted the same way. Who knows? You know what I mean? Because there still would have been this who knows? I don't know. But I just know perhaps if the national voice and the California voice would have been a little bit more united instead of so divided, maybe there wouldn't have been such this clash. I don't know. But COVID was a bitch. And who knows, it is what it is.
Cheryl says, I think it's good what you said to Julia, but she doesn't need to feel guilty. It's a normal reaction. Explaining was good. I will say, Cheryl, I sometimes go overboard. So you might be right.
It is what it is. Yeah. Scott says it's really easy to sit back and promote bad things on the internet. It's kind of fantasy to many. Wait until it happens next door or to your son or daughter. Yeah, exactly. But I think I liked the fact that you used, I love when I love taking a situation. Let's follow the line, right? And I think that's what you did. Yeah. It's like you made a statement. Okay, let's follow that. Let's follow that. And when you call people out on it, whether it's your kid or someone at work, it's like, well, what do you mean by that? When you make, whether it's a snide joke, whether it's a sexist remark, what do you mean by that? Okay, let's follow that along. Do you mean this? Do you mean it literally? And some people don't like it. It makes them uncomfortable. Or it makes them think, like, what do you actually mean by that? And I think that that's a good lesson for your daughter. And I bet you dollars to donuts the next time she makes any sort of statement, whether to you or even in her own mind, she probably will like, well, what do I mean by that? And that's
that's them thinking.
That's a good practice to have. Like, do I mean it literally or am I just venting? Right?
I don't know. We have trouble. We're going to have trouble in this society with people being mean to each other. And I'll tell you, when someone makes a comment about your kid and they'll say, oh, your kid is so fill in the blank, whatever the compliment may be, good musician, smart, whatever it is. The thing that makes my chest puff up with pride the most is, oh, your kid, they're so kind. They're so nice and kind. Thank you. That was my goal.
Right.
That's my goal in life. I want to raise empathetic people that go out into the world and are kind and understanding.
Not kids that want their heads to explode on.
Suckers, not people that you can, bowl over, but people that will go out into the world and be good people. So that's the best compliment I could ever get.
Right. Yeah. But then Julia wants their head to explode on the sidewalk.
That's right. I have some work to do. Clearly. My work here is not through. Happy to be here, proud to serve.
Stop. Believe me. I was like, I think I got a million freaking gray hairs for my kids today. But on this note about venting, and nobody's perfect. And I'm going to say this as we talk, and we're going to go into my girl, Katie Porter, because I'm going to preface this whole entire conversation by saying Katie Porter for governor. I do not give two shits, okay, about this interview.
Okay, but wait a minute. Now,
we're not. We have to start. We have to start it slow.
Okay,
let's just start this slow. But I'm announcing this because I want to announce my bias at the beginning. All right. Before, if anybody doesn't know, I am a Katie Porter supporter. So I want to announce this at the beginning. I'm announcing my bias, Kim. That's why. Okay. Unless you have watched this show before, I am a Katie Porter supporter. I could give two shits about this interview, but let's dissect it. Okay. I'm going to dissect this viral 2 or 3 minute interview that she gave with a woman that I actually know, Julie Watts, because I used to work in Sacramento, and my late friend Nick Palmer would be laughing in heaven right now because she worked for KCRA forever up in Sacramento, and she always said her name, Julie Watts. Good reporter, and she's an investigative reporter for CBS. I'm going to air it. Whatever clip, because I haven't been able to find, has anybody been able to find the whole entire interview that she's done, or is it to come? Because I haven't been able to find the whole entire interview that she did with Julie Watts. I've only been able to see the viral clip, but we're going to watch it together. Okay. Because, we're just going to watch it together, and then we're going to, I'm going to fume. Okay. So here is Katie Porter and this viral section of the interview with Julie Watts that is getting all the hoopla. Let's watch.
Part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40 40% of California voters to win, and you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't care. I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never
reporter.
had to do this before, ever.
Okay, and then it went on. I mean, so the question that Julie Watts had asked was, do you need, what kind of message do you have to the 40% of California voters that voted for Donald Trump, right? Mm-hmm. And she said something about like, I don't need the 40% of the voters to win, sure. Right?
Which is a mistake to say that, because what you want to do is be the governor for everyone and say, listen, I'm just going to tell the truth and I'm going to hope that people understand it. What you don't want to say is, I don't need those people. Screw them. Right. Yeah.
I think that Katie Porter did not handle the answering of that question well at all. I don't. I think that Katie Porter, I think she is hot-blooded.
She got a little bitchy. She got a little bitchy there.
I think that she is hot-blooded. I think she gets frustrated. There's another video that's coming out where I guess she's recording something and one of her staff members is in the background and she's like, you're in my fucking shot. Like, and she got really angry at it. Right. Yeah. So she's yelling at somebody in the background. Okay. Like, I could give 2 shits because I still think that she would be a good governor. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, if this was a man, this would not be a news story. Period. End of story.
Well,
you want to know why?
It's a news story anytime someone says it wants to unpin the lapel mic and walk out, right?
Are you sure? Because Donald Trump yells at freaking Caitlin Collins and every single freaking reporter, and he's president of the United States. And it might be a blurb on X. Like, he's the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. She's running for California governor. I mean, who cares? Hold on.
Tammy says she didn't handle it well, but I bet she and her children are threatened every day. She acts like she's just over this BS. Yeah. Yeah,
that's pretty much it. I feel like she didn't like the question. She could have answered it better. But I was reading this opinion piece in Mediaite, and here was the kind of the nuts and bolts of the opinion piece is like, when are Republicans ever asked, when are you going to reach out to the Democratic voters? Mm-hmm. When are they asked that? When is Trump ever asked? Trump literally said just the other day, he called an entire political party, literally half of America, the Democratic Party, little gnats that need to be taken care of. Why is it that headline news as much as Katie Porter losing it with a CBS investigative reporter, right? Mm-hmm. An entire political party is a gnat that he needs to take care of. We are half of America. And that's not news? Like, where is the olive branch that the president of the United States needs to reach out to half of America? But Katie Porter is the headline? Yep. Like, give me a friggin' break over here. No, you know what? I want a woman with steel balls between her legs that might get a little aggravated with people. I could give 2 shits that she gets aggravated with people. It's an aggravating job. It is. I don't care. I do not care. And I don't think that that's my bias showing. I don't care. Now, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And Betty E and all those people saying she should drop out are so full of political shit. Mm-hmm. I am like, give me a break. You want her to drop out. You want her to drop out.
I agree with you, but I'm going to play devil's advocate just for the sake of it. Okay.
Please.
So here's a comment from Eileen who says they showed another video of an assistant being in her effing shot. There's been talk in the past about her handling of her staff overall. Okay. So now we have 2 incidents where she gets kind of bitchy with people. Yeah. Some could say may say, that you don't get to a position of being a woman in charge and a woman in power without maybe getting a little bit, boss
Right.
boss bitch, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does it bother you? Do you want to elect? Because here we can elect this president who has nothing nice to say about anybody over and over again, right? But we can't elect a governor of California that gets a little cantankerous when she gets frustrated because women are held to a higher standard. But I'm supposed to be playing devil's advocate. So what I'll say is,
Exactly. You
Are
answered your own question, Kim.
are you okay with a
Yes.
governor who's maybe a little bitchy to staff and maybe
Yes.
yells at people
Yes.
and maybe isn't always nice when the cameras are turned off?
That's
and
what
maybe,
makes America, that is
you
what
know,
has made America go round.
mhm,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Every single, and I'm going to be sexist because that's how America's been made,
mhm,
right? Go ahead. Every single big company that's been made, what's the story? Oh, some man has yelled at his staff, but I had to do it.
Yeah.
We had to work hard nights, and I might have gotten a little angry, but we worked hard, and I'm sorry, but let's raise a glass and blah, blah, blah. But
Right.
if it's a woman that does it, if a woman gets a little frustrated because you're in her fucking shot, and I'm sorry, maybe I'm a little biased, but if I was Katie Porter and you were in my fucking shot and it's the 50th time I had done it,
Yeah.
I would probably say the same damn thing.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe there's a little bit of similarity between me and her, but she's probably exhausted. She's a mother. She's working her ass off. She is doing it on her own. She
Right.
probably has death threats, and you're in her
Mhm.
effing shot. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
this is politics. Suck it up. And if you don't like it, there's the door. And I'm
Here's
sorry,
the
if
prob-
people are upset about it, it's only
Yeah.
because she's a woman. If it was a man, no one would be talking about it. No one. This would not be news. It wouldn't.
Phineas says it's how you handle it after, which is true. But I guess the problem is that whether we like it or not, to quote Gavin Newsom, women are going to be held to a different standard. That you can't appeal to the male voters that you're going to need when you're bitchy to people. When you look like, you're not a very nice person, you have to be like, here's my whiteboard and here's the numbers and I'm going to hold you to account. And also then I'm going to get off stage and I'm going to be like, how was your day today, honey?
No.
Right?
She needs to play that Taylor Swift song, The Man, and just tell everybody to shut the fuck up.
Mhm.
That's what she needs to do. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
don't know the song, The Man by Taylor Swift, you could play it. That
Mhm.
is what you need to do. You need to raise your middle finger and be like, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. This is politics. I'm here to run
Mhm.
the fourth largest economy in the country. And we're not here to suffer fools.
Mhm.
Sorry. If you can't take it, bye. Like, I'm sorry. She needs to start. That's it. She does not need to make an apology. If Julie Watts doesn't like it, she can kind of be like, that's it. Fine. But you don't see Donald Trump and you don't see any man doing that shit. Like, that's it. And I understand that women are held to a different standard,
Mhm.
but the only way that women will stop being held to a different standard is when they
Yeah.
call out the double standard. And it's like, I don't think she should I do not think that she should treat her staff like shit.
Right.
But I do think that if you were in the room, we saw one clip, right? Like,
Mhm.
we saw one clip and that went viral and blah, 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 blah. Okay.
So, but does it speak to something wider, though, about her ability to handle being under pressure, especially with the media? If Gavin Newsom had been sitting there, the current governor, and had been peppered with questions by this reporter, he could eat that up like child's play.
Do you think that Gavin Newsom has never gotten mad at staff or ever
Oh,
lost
I
his
know
cool?
he probably
Okay,
has. And I
then.
know he's been like short with stupid questions that are asked to him, but it never comes off that way. He's never
How do
looked
you
at
know?
someone
Or it
and
just
said,
hasn't made
"I'm
the
done.
news.
I'm done with this." He never says that.
How do you know?
She has to be able to be put in the boiling pot of water that is the California governorship and be able to not freak out and lose her cool.
That
She
is
has
true.
to do it.
She does
has
have to
do
learn
it.
that.
It's
She
the
does.
job.
And I agree. I
Mhm.
agree. And I agreed with you at the beginning. I don't think that she handled the question well. She needs to learn how to handle it better. But what I am saying is That has zero to do with how she will be as governor. Like, what
doesn't it? Well, I mean, imagine the National Guard is in LA, COVID is going on, or whatever next is coming next down the pike of diseases pipeline.
right?
The homeless people are overtaking the streets. There's crime everywhere. Say the shit is hitting the fan.
Mm-hmm.
When she's governor, from every direction. There are wildfires everywhere. She hasn't gotten any sleep because she's been in the command center and she's talking to the press every 5 minutes. She has to be able to handle that. She can't not go. She can't just say, you know what, I'm done. She can't do it. That's not the job. That's not the job.
So what you're saying is,
for.
so this negates that. So one frustrated question.
I'm not saying that, but it does not a good look. I will say it's not a good look. One wonders now whether she can handle that stress level.
But it never, the same question never goes to a man. If he loses his cool, no one questions whether losing his cool makes him unqualified. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, a woman losing her cool is like, will she be qualified? But a man losing his cool, well, he'll be fine, because that will make him assertive under pressure. Maybe that makes her better under pressure.
I would like to think that if it was Gavin Newsom running and not already battle tested, and he did the same thing where he tried to take off his microphone and he lost his cool during an interview where it was just regular follow-up questions, really, or even if they were partisan follow-up questions, he would have been able to handle it. But
she did answer the question. She said, I don't need them. And then she said, she did answer the question. And then Julie Watts kept asking kind of it in a different way. You know what I mean? Like, she says, so you don't need them. She was kind of egging her on a little bit, but still,
instead of the freak out, I would have said asked and answered. What's next?
That's what I would have said.
What do you have next?
Asked and answered. She's a little more media savvy, but again, I don't think it matters in running the state. I don't.
So this whole line of questioning anyway with, what are you going to do about the Republicans? How are you going to get them on board? This all kind of stems from, I think, the Proposition 50 thing.
Oh, yeah, that's what they were supposed to be talking about. Yeah.
It's very, like, we're going to disenfranchise Republicans because they won't be able to have their Republican member of the House of Representatives, because we're going to change things and we're going to make it so that the Republican districts will be represented by a Democrat. So in essence, then the argument is that Republicans are losing their voice, and don't they deserve to have a voice too? And that is kind of the line of questioning. And that's this kind of their fervor, the reporter, I think, was trying to whip up about what about them? What about their voice?
This is a blue state.
Mm-hmm.
There's a million ways Katie Porter could have handled that question better. A million ways. I will 100% agree with you on that. She handled it poorly. Absolutely. I'm not going to defend the fact that Katie Porter could have handled that 10 times better. Absolutely. Totally. But what I'm saying is, just the way that she handled it, if it was a man that did it, I don't think it would have been one, such a big news story, and in any way, shape, or form disqualifying. That's my point. Like, it's not disqualifying if you put a dick on her. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. But because she's a woman, she can't. It's like the period thing. Oh my gosh, she's gonna have a period every month. What are we gonna do? The country's gonna go to hell. Like, who? What are you talking about? Look who's in the White House. You look at him wrong and he has a hissy fit. You know what I mean? It's insane. And yet women are held to this standard that is absolutely ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. Katie Porter for governor. I'm sorry. She will hold people's feet to the fire. Everybody is forgetting what she did with her whiteboard and when she was a lawmaker. Like, are we serious? This is disqualifying. Are we serious right now? Like, that is what pisses me off, is she has proven herself time and again. And you know that she is qualified, and you know that she has the GOP running scared because they're attacking her. You know that the Democratic other candidates want her to drop out because they're totally latching onto this. No, absolutely not. She shouldn't lose one freaking vote for this. And if she does, then you weren't really a Katie Porter supporter, or you know nothing about her, or you know nothing about her record. And I urge you, if you don't know anything about her, to look at her record and look what she's done.
I think she should undergo some media training.
Oh, I will completely agree with you on that. But at the same time, I think she does, when she is up on the dais and she has some sort of big corporation or another lawmaker before, I want that tenacity and I want that attitude right there.
But
I don't want her to lose any ounce of it.
Is there a difference, though, between being the voice of the people in the House and representing the people and holding people to account at these congressional hearings versus being the governor and the leader of the state of California, where, you know, maybe it's less about, although Gavin Newsom has taken on the mantle of holding Trump to account, but maybe it's less about that and it's more about what can you do for the people of California every single day, and less about, you know, calling people out when they get it wrong. Do you know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. Absolutely. I hear what you're saying. But I think that the fight is the same. You know what I mean? I think that you have to be able to point out in a clear way rights and wrongs, right? Like you can't be unclear. You have to have a very clear messaging. And I think that Katie Porter has been able to do that. She messed up in this instance. I'm not defending the way she handled it. I you know, what's really funny and what cracked me up kind of when I was watching it is when she clapped and she was like, I'm done. There is nothing that bothers my husband more when I do that. Like, I'm like, I am done. And he's like, stop clapping in my face. I was like, I am done. And he's like, stop clapping. Because that's like, when I am frustrated, I am like, so like, and he's like, you're on it. Because as you can tell, I get very hot. And so I was like, oh, and maybe it's because I like recognizes like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, she was hot. She was hot. And I don't even know. That's why I want to watch the whole interview. Like there has to be some sort of buildup. You know what I mean? Like that's why I want to watch the whole interview. And I haven't been able to find it. I don't know if it's out yet. But
you can't be provoked by some reporter from Sacramento. I mean, come on. You got to do better. She's got to do better.
Better media training. Somebody was asking what would I have done. Now, you know, being on the other side is way different than being a reporter. I have said that time and again. Like I can ask you a billion freaking questions, and then the minute I'm on the other side, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's true.
But I mean, I know what I would have said. You know what I mean? Like I know a million things that I would have said. You know, what would you say to the 40% of Trump supporters? I know I know what I wouldn't have said. I don't need their votes. What I would have said is, of course, I'm going to reach out to you. Of course, you know, we are Californians. There's a reason why we live in California is because we love this state. And there's so many issues that we can agree on. You know, we need to bridge that gap, all this sort of things. But she didn't do that. And that's why I think that I'm hoping, there had to be something in the conversation that I'm hoping tripped her. You know what I mean? Because I can't imagine her going from 1 to 100.
Yeah.
But even if it did, she still has my vote. I'm not voting for anybody else. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I'm not.
Well, the word I was reading about was that this I don't know, when you say trip up or mistake that she made on a public stage like that has kind of opened the door for other people to really rise up in the polls and challenge her. So we'll see.
Who you voting for? Who?
For me, right now, as of today, Katie Porter.
Okay, but who's your second? Who? Who? Thank you.
Well, Eleni Kounalakis has.
You're not voting for Eleni Kounalakis.
No, I'm not.
Do not give me.
She's out. She left the race anyway. She's gone.
Oh, okay. I was like, no, nobody. Betty Yee.
Isn't Javier Becerra still running? There's a bunch of people that dropped out recently because Katie Porter was rising in the polls.
Yeah.
Had Kamala Harris decided to run, she might have had my vote instead of Katie Porter.
Yeah, I think Kamala. No. Katie Porter has my vote. Whatever. I mean, okay. Porter has my vote. Whatever.
We have to thank Cindy, who says, thank you for your show and enjoyable conversations. Hoping you can get Pat Thurston to join in one evening.
I would love to talk to Pat Thurston. You should reach out to Pat. I would love
Yeah,
to talk about it. I would love
absolutely.
to see
Thank you,
Pat's face.
Cindy, so
Absolutely.
much. We
Um,
are desperate for the contributions here on this crowdfunded
yes.
show. We want to
Thank you,
keep
thank
doing
you,
it.
thank you.
We want to know that you want us to keep doing it. So not only click the thumbs up button, share the show around so get other people to subscribe to it as
Yes,
well.
please.
That's how we survive it. And then also the Patreon, the monthly Patreon contribution is what'll help keep this show afloat. So thank you for that. You know, we got to pay for the StreamYard and
Absolutely.
podcast
Absolutely.
and
Thank
all
you,
the
thank you,
costs.
thank
So
you.
thank you.
All right, so we have to lighten things up because I like to lighten things
Mhm.
up towards the end of the show. So, okay, you have to choose your story. Okay, ready?
Okay, hit me.
Do you want to talk about Zach Bryan? Do you want to talk about a soccer? Do you want to talk about after school programs, including soccer?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to talk about whether or not you should let your teenager get a piercing? You decide.
Option 3, because it's right up my wheelhouse.
Okay,
And
perfect.
also, can
Okay.
we talk about Survivor?
First or second? I love Survivor.
Second. Let's talk about it second.
Okay. So I found this story. First off, Julia has her ears pierced. Anything
No.
else pierced?
Nothing pierced.
Julia has nothing pierced?
I keep telling her, if you want to get your ears pierced, you can, but Julia doesn't want her ears pierced. Julia wants a nose ring.
Perfect.
She wants her nose pierced.
Perfect.
And I'm like,
so does
no,
Marley.
absolutely
So
not.
does Marley.
You're
Marley would
16 years
love.
old. No.
Marley would love to get her nose pierced. I have bought Marley probably 3 packs over her like the last 2 years or so of her teenagers of the fake like rings because they look really real. I'm like, you can get whatever fake ones you want, like clip-on earrings, whatever, of her nose, and they look really real. And I'm telling you, girl, she will squeeze those things on. I'm like, are you literally gonna pierce your own nose with that fake thing? But no, it's not pierced. But no, her nose is not pierced. Her ears are. But that's interesting. So the reason why I'm asking is this, and Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian's being criticized because her daughter Northwest got a dermal piercing. So I don't know if you know what a dermal piercing is.
Is
It's
that
like on
the ring in the middle of the nose?
So a dermal piercing is like on the skin.
Okay.
So the reason I brought this up is Marley had a friend who got a dermal piercing, but he had it on his face. So he had it pierced like on his cheek. So it was like you would see
I'm
like
such an old person. When I see someone like that, all I can focus on is that thing.
Right. Honestly, like, okay, so this was the thing that bothered me about it. Like, it wasn't so much like, obviously, I don't want my child to have their face. I always tell Marley, I'm like, whatever, wait until you're old enough and it's legal, like, and then it's your own body. But don't do anything on your face, please, because like it's your face or your neck, you know what I mean? Like, or anywhere you can't hide it. Like, I have tattoos, but you can't see them, you know what I mean? Like, or anything like that. But just don't do anything to your face. And her friend had done a dermal piercing, but his mom had specifically said no. Oh. And I thought that was really disrespectful that your mom had said no and you did it anyway. Like, well,
isn't that against the law? But these places are not supposed to do this kind of thing until you're 18. Well, that's the law, right? There was I would have marched my kid right back down there and said, take it out. There was a divorced sort of situation going on. So there was a parent that took him. So there was that sort of thing. There was an adult there. So it was that sort of situation. But anyways, it was a parent approved, but not the parent that said no. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It was done. It was done. But like, I don't want anything on the face, but Kim Kardashian had her kid done it. And then they posted a picture of it. And how old is her kid?
So North is 12.
Oh, that's really young.
But it was her finger. It wasn't her, like, so she had her finger pierced. Now.
You just stuck a hole through your child, your 12-year-old child.
Now, what's the difference between the ear and the finger?
Oh, well, at least the ear is kind of out of the way a little bit, although I have heard of some bad things happening. But with a finger, you're playing I would imagine typical 12-year-old, maybe you're playing soccer,
It's
maybe you're playing sports.
dirty.
That thing's going to get torn out, tampered with,
Yes.
messed with. They're 12 years old. They're
Awful.
not responsible enough to handle something like that. That's no.
No,
That's a
not at
no.
all. That's a no. Sam, I love seeing your name in our freaking chat. Thank you so
Hi,
much.
Sam.
Miss starting my days with you ladies. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Sam, for the $10 donation. We got a couple. I want to call them out. Cheryl, thank you for the $20 donation.
Cheryl,
Thank you, Cheryl.
you.
And Vilma came in just because you both are there for the $5
thank you,
donation.
Vilma.
Mwah. I love you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you. We really. Oh, wait, and Harry, love the show. Here's to a Maduro mule and a kamikaze.
Thank you.
I have a little bit of my Maduro mule left. Hold on.
I gave mine away. I thought there was another one coming, but apparently it's not coming.
David, come on. You're slacking, my friend. You're slacking.
Thank you.
But yeah, no. So as far as piercings go,
Yeah.
if she wanted, so no nose. No nose?
No piercings of any kind, except for the ears. And she said, why that? And I said, I don't know, Julia, because
it's culturally acceptable.
It seems to be. But I said, I feel like you might have, and we're the kind of people that scar easily, especially Julia. She's a redhead and she's fair skinned. And I said, I worry that you're going to get this nose ring and you're going to have regrets and you're going to take it out. There's going to be a big scar on your nose. Also, what happens if it's like you have to blow your nose and it's crusty inside and there's boogers attached to it? Like the whole thing sounds filthy and gross. No judgment for anyone that has a nose ring. Like you do you. And
you
I'm
can
sure
pick your nose
beautiful.
with a nose ring and nobody judges you. I'm just letting you know if you have your nose pierced, you can always pick your nose because everyone thinks you're just messing with your nose.
I said, listen, if you're 18 and you decide to do it, then go do it. But from now until you're 18 and I'm in charge, then no. And she goes, well, Mom, what about you always say my body, my choice? And I'm like, you need to go to law school. You need to go to law school.
It is your body, but until you're 18, it's not legal.
I said, it's not your body. It's my body. I made it and I'm in charge of it.
Yeah, pretty much. What if Jacob wanted to get his ears pierced?
Oh,
Could he?
see, you really highlight my gender specific roles here. And now I'm feeling like, maybe I have some thinking to do, but I would balk at that as well. I would go, oh, wait a minute.
Why?
Are you my husband, like a long time ago, pierced an ear and took it out and regrets it and regretted doing it. Right. So I would maybe point at that as an example, like, don't do it. You might regret it.
But what if you really, really wanted, like all
At
the boys, like, with like fake diamond studs in both ears. And he's like, I really want to do it, Mom.
Maybe when he was 18, he could make his
Well,
own
who gives
choices.
a shit if it's 18? He doesn't have to ask you then.
No, right. But let's just make a blanket rule that until you're 18, do not manipulate your body.
No.
Thank you.
So the answer is
no. It's a no. The answer is no. I might give that one a little bit more thought, but then now I can't give it more thought because if I already said no to her, I have to say no to him. Right?
So it's no.
It's no.
I love you. Lori, thank you for the $20 donation. I'm just
Lori.
cracking up at this conversation. Thank you, Lori, so much.
What about you? Are you going to say yes?
To what?
To the nose ring?
Oh, no. Okay. So one is, I don't like any piercings on the face.
No.
So I've always been a no on that. And I told Marley, I'm like, you're not allowed to get piercings until you're 18 on your own. And I say no to the piercing. So you can, and I told Marley, if you want to go at 18, go and do it. And that's
get tattoos and do the piercings and
do whatever you want. Because my dad always was like anti-tattoos. And he was like really, really, he was so anti that the minute my birthday, I turned 18, I got a tattoo. You know what I mean?
You wanted more, right? Made you really amped to go do it. And maybe that's what I'm doing.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? Just if you really want to do it, just wait until you're 18 and do it legally and go to a clean shop and blah, blah, blah. But until then, and Marley's had her ears pierced 3 times. And 3 times she's taken the friggin' earrings out and they've closed up. So now she has like the hard like balls in her ears, like that of like the calcium or whatever of like, I'm like, you're going to have to go to a piercer to pierce through. I have no idea. So she can't even wear earrings right now. So whatever. And her belly button, I don't even know if she would want to have her belly button done. So I don't even think I have to worry about that. But she definitely would want to do her nose. My
Deidre
daughter
said
did a weird nose wheeze after her. Ooh, really? That's interesting. Tell Julie about that. Tell Julie about that.
Oh, trust me. I've looked up every negative, like, because they have all these pro and con websites. Copy paste the cons, send. Infection, scarring, all these things.
I love Kim's comment. I'm cracking up at the conversation because girls are basically wearing no clothes to school, but you won't let them pierce their noses, yet exposing so much of their bodies.
Oh my
Well,
God.
look,
I saw
you know
this
what I
girl
mean?
walk out of high school
Holes
the
are
other day.
forever, Kim.
Her
Holes are
ass
forever.
cheeks were hanging out. Like, seriously, butt cheeks at high school. Wow.
You know how I feel about clothes. So we don't need to get into this whole conversation. But I will tell you this. So now that I work at my kids' high school, okay, Lord, help me. Okay. So all of my opinions about clothes are coming back to bite my ass. Okay. So if anybody has followed me from my KGO days, I am a firm believer in wear what you want, but you have to live with the consequences. Okay. So that is how I've always believed. And I still maintain that. Okay. I still fully maintain that. My daughter will come to school in a wide range of clothing. From I rolled out of bed in my pajamas and I'm still wearing them to I'm wearing a t-shirt that's a t-shirt in the front and then there's like slits in the back. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's this like, and I'm like, all right, bye. You know what I mean? So I have to live with the consequences of my own beliefs, but I go, all right, put more clothes on her, get dressed in real clothes. You know what I mean? But that's it.
Eileen says, my mother used to say, if you were born with holes in your blank, you would be upset. If you were born with a hole in your nose, you'd be pretty upset about it.
Well, and I don't like my nose enough to put a hole in it to like draw attention to it. So that's my whole thing. Oh, thank you, Sarah and Chris Keith, for the $5 donation.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm also not a piercer. I'll never forget when I went to Chico, my one freshman year in Chico, my friend was dating this guy. I think his name was Chris. I don't remember his name, but he wanted to get both of his nipples pierced. Okay. So we went to a piercer. He pierced one. And he was like, it was so painful to him that he never did the and I was like, well, that ended that idea. So yeah, no way.
Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you for the $20. Good show. I'm still planning to vote for Porter. Yeah, vote for Porter. Like, what are we talking about here? Porter's going to be awesome. Thank you for the $20 donation. Mwah! Thank you so much.
Gordon, if the cheeks are hanging out, send the kid home. Done.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I mean, believe me, the things that I have seen, whatever. Honestly, if you fight, this is what I firmly believe with kids and clothes. The more you restrict, the more they're going to want to push back. So you just got to be like,
listen,
whatever.
You need to have your parts covered.
Yeah.
Okay. You need to have.
I don't want to see your tatas.
I don't want to see. Now, Julia's been wearing some shirts that I'm like, oh, girl, but no nipples. I don't want to see nipples.
Well, that's because she has something to show.
I don't want to see the big V, and I don't want to see your butt cheeks. Like, none of these things are appropriate for school.
Like, I could wear the most lowest cut thing and you'll never see my V. You know what I mean? But poor Julia, like, she could wear like this shirt and unfortunately her V will probably show. That is why it's unfair.
Yeah.
That's why I think clothes are unfair. Like, I could wear a shirt like this and it's like, oh, that's fine. And then Julia could put on this shirt, exact same, in the same size, but because she's bigger, it becomes inappropriate.
Right.
And that's why I don't like judging women in her clothes. Yeah. That's why I say, wear what you feel comfortable in, but however it looks is how you're going to have to live with. So that's why I say it, you know?
Yeah. Well, in high school, my son's girlfriend had a heavy 24 karat gold nose ring that she got while in India. All I could do was stare at it, but I told my son I didn't like it. And it's funny because I also use the cultural appropriation argument with Julia. I'm like, are you Indian?
Oh, you think, so only Indian women can wear
nose? But it was one of many arguments I tried to unsuccessfully make.
Yeah. No.
She's good. She's good at this fight, let me tell you.
I'm just saying, like, I just don't like anything on the face or the neck or behind the face or the neck. I mean, behind the ear, I guess I'll be okay with because it's behind the ear if it's tiny. But anything on especially like, or the chest for women. Anything you can't hide, like, because you might not like it. Like, I have tattoos I don't like that are, and I only don't like them because they're not finished. And I got them in my 20s, and I would have to completely redo them. And I don't have the money nor the desire to sit and get them done again. So I'm glad they're hidden. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that the only time you see them is if I'm in a bathing suit, right? So I have that freedom because I was smart enough to get them in a place in which you don't have to see them all the time. If you put them on your friggin' neck, you're screwed, dumbass. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So I don't know. But live and let live, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, Survivor. You ready?
Oh, yes. I've been watching Survivor. Okay, go.
So I don't want to, can I spoiler alert the episode from last night?
Oh, okay. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If anybody has not watched the Survivor, hold on, we have to give a warning. If anybody has not watched the Survivor from last night, please like and subscribe our show. You can donate down below because this is your time to check out because Kim's about to give a spoiler. But we love you and come back here next Thursday at 5:00 Pacific. Okay, go ahead.
There's a man on Survivor. He's a big guy. He was like a Chippendales dancer from Australia.
Yes.
And he went on Survivor when his wife was due to give birth.
Yes.
First baby. First of all, who does that? You want to...
Okay,
no. First
wait,
of all,
it's because when you send in your application, she probably wasn't even pregnant because
then you know what? When they call you, you say, my wife is going to give birth during that time. No. Can you put me in for next time?
No, you don't do that.
Yes. So I'm annoyed with this guy already that he's going to miss the birth of his first child. I'm already annoyed by it. So then he's at the ocean and he gets bitten by
a venomous snake.
It's a highly venomous a sea crag. And it turns out to be a dry bite where he was bitten, like the snake was saying, stay away, but the venom didn't go in, right? So there was just kind of a warning bite before they really chomped down. And he gets taken by boat to the medical facility. And there's all this stress and consternation where all of a sudden he now realizes, oh, I'm going to be a father. Like, I can't be out here endangering my life with sea creatures and whatnot. And this is big emotional thing where, the doctor's like, you need to rest and you need to,
hydrate and get food and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
You can't go back onto the show. But I don't think the guy would have anyway, because now he realizes that, his
life was on the line. Yeah.
Right. I was so annoyed by that guy by the end of the show. He ended up going back home. And at the end of the show, they say he got back in time for the birth of his first child. And they show a picture of him holding his baby. And that's nice. But between him ditching his wife to be on Survivor when she's pregnant and due to give birth, and his whole realization that, oh yeah, I'm going to be a dad. I got to go home. I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed by that guy.
Really? Okay. So I will give you a little bit. This was their first child too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is why I'm on your side a little bit. Like, if this was my first child, not that the second and the third and the fourth don't matter. Okay. But I've never had a child before. I've never gone through a pregnancy before. I've never gone through birth before. Not that they don't matter, but I'm scared. Like, I've never done this before. Right.
Yeah.
So it's my first experience, and you don't even want to experience it for the first time with me. That would piss me off. But at the same time, maybe because I'm a Survivor fan, being on Survivor, not that having a child isn't a once in a lifetime opportunity, you're never going to get that opportunity again. Like,
it's a reality TV show
that you can win $1 million. That could set your family up for life.
He's not going to win the $1 million.
You don't know that.
He was on
a terrible team. I will tell you that. He was on a terrible team.
The biggest, strongest competitor never wins that show.
That is true. They get rid of them very early. I'm just saying, if you were, our good friends, Brian Copeland and Carolyn, are huge Survivor fans. I wish they were on this show with us right now. I would love to have Carolyn on the show because I would love to ask her but it would have to be reversed because she would be the one having the baby. But I definitely think that if the roles were reversed, she would go.
No.
Yes, like if you were
Now
that
that
big of a Survivor like fan, you
Now
would
that she's a mom,
go.
there's no way she knows kids are most important. There's no way you would put a reality show above the birth of your child 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or
I'm not saying put
whatever.
it before my child, but what I'm saying
Mhm.
is, would you ever put an experience for your, okay, here's a good question, Kim. Here's a good question.
Uh-huh.
So you have one life. One life. That's all you have.
Right? This is
And
true.
you're sharing it with one person, like your husband. Okay.
Right.
This is it. Like, and yes, you have children, and yes, all of these things. But in reality, this is it. Like, I am Nikki and my husband is James, but we are singular people, and this is the only life we get.
Right.
And I have an opportunity in this one life that I have to do this one thing. And the one person in my life that can give me permission to do this one unique opportunity, I'm looking for permission.
Mm-hmm.
That is a gift. It is a gift. It's like, you know what? You've always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
He married the right lady then, because I would argue this. When we decided to have a baby, we decided that that was our experience that we were doing together. And you can't decide because you got the phone call that you would rather do something else than have a kid with me. Absolutely not.
I hear what you're saying. And in part, honestly, I do agree with you as well. I'm just playing kind of devil's advocate here. I'm just saying, like, there's also like, you'll never also get that opportunity either. Like, I'm torn because it's his first child too. And not that all the other kids don't matter either. I don't want to like negate those kids either, because that would also be a big deal. There's a part of me that where you look at somebody and if it's something they've always wanted to do, it's like, and you don't even know when the baby's coming. Like, maybe it's going to come, maybe you can do it and come back, or, whatever, like, who knows? You just want to kind of give them that gift, like, go give it a shot. Like, I'll be here and the baby's going to be here, but you can also have that. You know what I mean? We could do both. Like, I think there could be that blend. Does that make sense? Where I'm going to give you that gift of, I know that it's important for you to be there for the child, but I also know that that's important to you too. And so I don't know. It's weird. I don't know.
It's true that the snake bite was as rare as a lightning strike, something they said on the show. But I would argue this. If they wanted him for Survivor 49, which is the current season, then they would want him for Survivor 50 or 51. That's not true.
Survivor 50 has already been booked. Survivor 50 has already been booked.
I don't think so. And people,
it has already been booked.
There were 2 people that dropped out and they had to use alternatives. I think that they'll have him on a different season. Maybe. Because of what happened to him. And I think that it would have been fine. Stay home for the birth of your baby and do it down the line. There was something they saw in him that made them think this guy's going to be great on Survivor. So do it the next time.
Maybe. I mean, I hear what you're saying. And I do agree with you, but I think it also comes down to this. That's a risk. That's a question. Will they? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Do they see something in me enough to bring me back? Right. Because that's a risk. You haven't even been on the show yet. So you're basically saying on an application, they're going to love me enough to be like, okay, no, that'll never happen. So you have to actually like be on the show to love you enough. He might now have a chance to go back, but not before he went on the show. So now maybe he might be able to come back.
Yeah. No.
So he has a better chance of coming back now than he did never going at all. Does that make sense?
If I tell the show, listen, my wife's about to give birth with our very first baby, and they say next and not like, we'd love to have you on a future show, then I don't want to be on the show in the beginning. Like, they're not family friendly. Forget it.
Do you understand how many people? Do you know how many applications they go through? Like, you're insane. You have no idea. So many people want to be on that show. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
No.
There's no.
I don't care. Survivor's not as important as your child. Forget it.
A lightning strike.
What if his wife died in childbirth?
Oh,
what if his baby was born and there was some horrible complication? It happens. And you're off gallivanting in the sea, plotting against people. Seriously? Well, your priorities
bitten by snakes and shit. Yeah, Jesus. I know. But again, it's. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Both. I hear you. I do agree with you. If I was the wife, but imagine she's just as much of a Survivor fan, and she's like, "Oh my God, you got the call."
Yeah.
So who knows? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think some people agree with you. Yeah, some people agree with you.
Yeah.
Kim's like, you're not that committed.
Not that committed to Survivor, no.
But some people think it's all scripted. I don't think
Yeah.
it's that scripted. I mean, I sit there on the couch with James and all I say all the time is, nope. I love Survivor. I would be the worst Survivor contestant ever. I'd be like, and never doing that. And never doing that. I'd be the biggest complainer. Somebody I used to work with when I was a waitress thought that James and I would be the best couple for The Amazing Race. Somebody was talking about The Amazing Race. And I was like, only for comedy's sake, because I would be the biggest complaining ass ever. And James would be like the best court, like he would be the best person with the map and like getting there. And I would be like the biggest complaining ass ever, just like for comedy and like freaking out. But I would be the worst. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to run. I'm just awful.
Yeah.
I would be the worst. I would be literally the worst person to be on any of those kind of shows. But if you want to laugh at somebody, and that would be me. I'm not eating anything. I hate being cold. If you're snoring, I would be aggravated. I wouldn't want, and they poop in the ocean all the time. James and I have talked about this numerous times on Survivor. They poop in the ocean. Do you swim away from it? Like, how does that work? Is there like a tide of shit that just like flows in? How does that work? I have no idea, but they poop in the ocean. I don't know how that works. But
Jim says, I did change my career path for my children's birth, but I understand if it was something once in a lifetime, like maybe getting selected to go to Mars.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea. If anyone has the answers, I don't know what show would make me. Obviously, I can't miss my own child's birth, but I don't know what it would be. But it would have to be something special.
No.
All right. Well, that is our show. That is a very good show. I loved all of you guys, and I loved all of the comments. And you guys have been such great supporters today. So I love you guys so much. Let's give some thank yous. Okay. We have a lot of thank yous to give today, Kim. So let's do it.
We do.
All right. James started us off with a $3 donation. Thank you. Rhonda, we love you with our $5 donation.
Aloha.
Cindy came in with the $5 donation as well.
Cindy.
And then came in Sam. I love saying your name, Sam. Sam, thank you so very much. All right, my window is so small. Okay, and then we have Cheryl coming in with a
thank you, Cheryl.
Donation. Cheryl, I love you,
Really
love you. Vilma came in with a $5 donation, followed by Harry with a $5 donation as well.
Thank you.
Laura Dolly with a $20 super sticker. You are amazing. Sarah and Chris Keith with a $5 super sticker. And then look at Eileen. Good show. $20 donation. Mwah! I love these donations. You guys, we can't do the show without you. Honestly, we are only here because we are 100% crowdfunded. So we don't take any money from anything else. We're only here because you guys want us here, honestly. And we love doing the show every single week. So tell your friends, please subscribe, because we want to like grow our show so very much. We have a great time being two drunk moms doing the news and get every single day. And we stay sane together. So we will be back here on Thursday, Pacific, 5:00. And we love you. So send us the stories that you can, Patreon, PayPal, any way you could support us. We always appreciate it. Right, Kim?
Right. We always do.
All right.
So much. Can't do it without you guys. We're all a team. Thank you.
Right. We love you. We'll see you back here next week. Mwah.
Bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. Miss Brown, like a beautiful blossom. You're all so the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.